we'll be reviewing the Arrow TV series figure Deathstroke from DC Collectibles. So real quick, we'll take a look at the package and then we'll take a closer look at the figure. Now the package is that same DC Collectibles white box packaging. We've got Deathstroke's photo on the back, or on the side. We got the logo, the character name on there. We got DC Collectibles. This is figure 3 in the wave or series. And then we've got a look at the figures from the back. We got it's sculpted by Gentle Giant Studios. We got the CW logo, DC Comics logo, and then on the other figures in the wave are Arrow, Canary, and Oliver Queen with the totem. Now, I'm pretty sure that a lot of girls would be interested in this figure. I mean, look at it; it's like pretty amazing. You know what I mean? Like, I would probably want that thing too. But anyways, so we got Deathstroke's name on the side. I got this guy at GameStop. He costs about $25 or so. Not so bad. I wish it was a little bit lower, but hey, So that's pretty much it. We got the Arrow logo on top, and yeah. So that's it for the package. Let's take a look at the figure. Now the figure is amazing. This figure is like well done. I mean, he's just really amazing. I can't stop saying he's amazing. Quick look at the size. This is a 5-inch DC Collectibles Robin figure from the animated series. Now you can see he stands very tall compared to him. I think the figure's about 6.5 inches, maybe 7, but this is Robin at 5 inches, so he's about 2-3 inches taller than him. So I'm guessing about 7 inches tall. I don't have anything else on hand to compare him to, but you basically get the idea of the size. I would say he's about your normal DC Collectibles figure height. The detail on him is great. He has a lot of orange and blue detailing, just like in the show. I think it's very accurate. I don't have any complaints with this guy, maybe with his accessories or his hands, but that's pretty much it. I don't have anything else to complain about. Maybe the articulation could have been better, but again, when you're wearing a costume like this, yeah, I don't expect you to have the most, articulation or be able to have too much movement. It's kind of a really big, sort of, not bulky, but there's just a lot of bulk on him, so I don't expect him to have a ton of articulation. So let's take a look at the sculpt. I think the sculpt is dead on to the show, man. I mean, it's really good. It's got all these little details. It is the best way to depict the character in figure form. There's no other way that this figure could have looked better. I don't think any other way. Maybe the head size, maybe a little bit more wider, because it's very slim and slender, so maybe something a little bit more wider. This is really thin. I think maybe a little bit more wider, and I think that would have done the job a little bit. Me and my friend were both talking about that earlier, but yeah, that if anything, that's just pretty much my thought on it. So let's take a quick kind of look at this guy. He's got a lot of all this detail and everything. He's got all the blue where they should be. I think it's very accurate. He's got all these orange buckles. He's got all these regular buckles. He's got a lot of armor and stuff like that. I like the touch, even gold right there at the rim of his shoes or his toes or whatever. He's even got all the little holsters and everything for all his weapons, his sheath for his katana. He's got even his little tassel type thing going on. And I gotta say, everything is perfect. I even like the gold capsules. I wish I had the other Deathstroke figure to compare him to. From season 1, was it Billy Wintergreen's Deathstroke? I wish I had that to compare to, because that one versus this, it looks kind of crappy because, again, that was just an all-black costume. But yeah. So quickly, before we get into anything else, let's go over articulation. Now his head can pivot side to side. His head can just about barely go up. It can go down a fair amount. And it's got, again, head pivot, can go left, can go right. His arms can go out just about that much. I don't want to force it really. That's as far as I can get it without ruining anything. His arms can go up and down. And then, actually, yeah, that's about as far as you can get it. He has got a bicep swivel. He's got elbow swivel, single bend at the elbow. He's got a hinge at the wrist and a swivel. He has no ab crunch, but he does have a an ab swivel or ab, upper waist swivel. He can't really, back and forth. I mean, there's not really anything going on there. His legs can go in or up and down or whatever, in and out, up and down, whatever. And then he's got a no thigh swivel. Actually, yeah, no thigh swivel. I wasn't sure. He's got double jointed knees, a single hinge in the foot, and yeah, some ankle pivot. So that's pretty much all there is with this guy. Not too much articulation, but just enough to pose him in at least a pretty good pose. Again, with a figure with like this much armor and bulk, I don't expect him to have too much articulation on him. So let's take a look at the accessories. Now he comes with this dagger on his thigh holster, or I mean a calf holster, and it just it comes in right there. So here's his here's a dagger, and it can fit into his left hand, right hand. I don't know. I'm not good with left and right. His left hand, but it's very hard to get into here. Let's just see, because I want to be able to pull it back out. So yeah, it can fit in his right hand just like, or left hand just like that. It looks really good. You can get him in kind of like a threatening pose and all that. This right hand right here is made for the gun. It's a trigger finger hand, so you can't really put anything else in there. I mean, you kind of can, but it's not really meant to go into this hand. So I mean, you could put his sword in there, but it's really loose and it's just gonna hold like that, kind of barely even holding it. But that's his sword going into this holster like that. This accessory is kind of the most pain in the ass to put in and out of his hand, so I don't like to put it in there that much because of that reason. So I don't like to use that accessory too much. Now he's got a holster right here. All of his straps and anything like that, it's pretty much all rubber. Everything here is rubber. This is rubber. This rubber. This area is rubber. This thing has got a little bit. This armor thing is sort of rubbery, but it's really rubbery on the back right here. So he's got a lot of separate sculpted pieces that are soft goods or soft rubber. Here's his katana. Let's take a look at that real quick. He's got all the little silver detailing at the bottom. It's been in a nice silver paint, and he's got a little gold stripe on going all the way around on the sword blade. And then it's a kind of I guess a flat black or just kind of a shadowy black color. So the sword fits in his hand just like that. It's kind of loose because of how I kept putting in the other dagger accessory, so it kind of looked really ugly. I mean, it's very loose now, but it can fit in his hand just like that, just fine. And it goes back in the sheath just like that, and no problems. There's nothing wrong with it. Now let's take a look at his. Did I already take a look at his other knife? Let's take a look at the knife first, since we're using this hand, because this hand is only for the blade accessories. Here's his little knife. Kind of a smaller accessory, so I'd be careful with it, don't lose it. And here it is, just a darker sort of metallic color for the blade, and then very basic handle, nothing special sculpted on it. Just see if I can get that. Yep, it just fits in there like that. Here's his tassels. They're painted in gray. Man, I gotta say, this figure is like really awesome. I mean, I can't stop saying it enough. I love this figure, man. So let's take a look at his gun. Now his holster is kind of a softer rubber material, and then here's his pistol right here. I think it's like really amazing. I mean, it's pretty much just all silver with a little bit of black paint, but I mean, detail wise it's pretty good. I wish there was a little more, I guess paint shading on it or something to kind of, I don't know, because it being all silver kind of annoys me, So anyways, here's the hand. It's sculpted. It goes to his hand very nicely. I don't even know why I stuttered and couldn't even figure out what I was gonna say. It fits in his hand very nicely. The finger goes in the trigger just fine. You're gonna have to put it into his hand a couple times just to get his hand kind of used to holding it, because it's not really. It's like more like this when it starts out, but over time, after putting the gun in his hand, his figure kind of like stretches out and everything, and so after a couple times it will get in his hand just fine. But it's kind of a a bitch to get some of his weapons into his hand. Now overall sculpt, pretty much my final thoughts on the figure. Sculpt, paint, everything about this figure, sculpt, paint, Articulation, everything about it is great. Articulation, I kind of wish there was some upper thigh swivel and maybe some ab crunch in there. But besides that, it's got a very decent amount of articulation. I wish that the head was probably a bit thicker in like width or something, you know what I mean? Like widen out a little bit, but it works out just fine. I think it looks very spot on to the TV show's version of the character, and I really do like it. I like all the rubber parts. The softer plastic stuff. It's very nice. To instead of some of it being like sculpted, on the figure in a harder plastic, it's nice to get it in a softer plastic just to kind of some variation in the sculpt and all that instead of all of it 100% plastic. So yeah. Is the figure a little overpriced? No, not really. DC Collectibles prices are around $25 or so for like most of their, or pretty much all their figures except for the bigger ones. Do I think it's a good choice? Oh yeah, definitely. If you're looking for a Deathstroke figure from DC Collectibles, either pick up the Arkham Origins Deathstroke figure or pick up this figure from the TV series. This figure is just, I can't stop saying it. It's just an amazing figure. Go pick it up if you haven't got one already. If you're a huge Deathstroke fan, a huge Batman fan, you'll like this figure. You'll like this guy. I don't even know why I said Batman fan. I guess because he mostly goes up against Batman or Teen Titans or whatever, and sometimes Green Arrow. This is pretty cool films. You guys are pretty cool, and I'll see you guys next.